I think Africa is in the transition right now. After independence, Western countries, they really tried to teach Africa about democracy. They tried to chip all the rules, all the regulations, all the do's and don'ts. So I think for the past 60 plus years, Africa has been trying to catch up with the Western style democracy. Honestly, I would say this in my own opinion, that nobody is really doing fully democracy 100% in this world. To be honest, really honest, it hasn't been working, to be honest. That's why you find countries like Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali shifting from what so-called democracy to something else. And this is not to say that I agree to taking over of the government, of the military, what they do and how they do it. That aside, I think Africa has been craving for a good leadership, wanting to see good leadership for a long time, and therefore they're trying any way possible to achieve that. So for the sake of some other countries, honestly, even military have been taking over the regime and it hasn't been working for them. I mean, for the case of Burkina Faso, I think it has been working pretty well. To the point where everybody's endorsing Ibrahim Traore for what he's doing for his people. Honestly, we are in the shift. Nobody knows what is going to happen next, but it is the cry for a good leadership. And I think Africa, we have to decide and we have to choose the better way, or the different way of democracy that will work for us. And I think it's not Western standard that cannot work for us, but I think it has to come from within, because democracy, it really depends on what people want. So what do African people want? What do Burkina Faso people want? After 1 year, they say, we want you to stay here for 5 more years, and we're going to do election later on. They did the same thing. So for Tanzania, how does democracy look like? What do people of Tanzania want? For Kenya, what do people of Kenya want? Ethiopia, the same thing. What do people of Ethiopia want? Some would say that it's not there. Some would say that it is here. Some would say that it's not working. Some will say that it is working. But I gotta admit that democracy, it kind of to some extent, brings stability. But in today's world, where Gen Z, the number of Gen Z are large compared to the old generation, people, they don't really care about democracy anymore. They just want to see transformation and change. Whether it's going to be brought by soldiers or it's going to be brought by democracy, it does not really matter to the generation we're living right now. It's a totally different generation. So hopefully, Africa will catch up with that and do something better for our people. It's a good question. Very deep question. We've seen Mali and Burkina Faso, they actually dissolve the electoral commission. The reason why, it's because they've seen that it's not really working for the interests of the people. And I think it's the same case to most of the our countries, for instance Tanzania and some other country. It's there, but it's not really for the benefit of the people. And the reason is this, because the leaders, or these people who are leading electoral commission, most of them, they are appointed by the president, by the regime. So basically, they are loyal. They place their loyalty to the government and not to the people. But the electoral commission is supposed to be working for the people and not for the government, not even for the regime, because the current government is actually coming from one political party, but you have other different parties. For the case of Tanzania, you have multi-party system, so you have a lot of different parties. It means these leaders are supposed to be coming not from any of these political parties, first. Second, they should not be elected by the president or by the regime, because they'll place their loyalty on them. If they do anything otherwise, they'll lose their jobs. So basically, you are not going to have the fair and just election. Why? Because they're working for the interests of the government. So the reforms that are supposed to be made is for these leaders to be completely independent from politics, completely independent from the parties, and not chosen by the regime. They're supposed to find a different kind of way to elect them in order for them to really work for the people. And they should not worry about anything. I mean, if the government, is doing otherwise, they should just basically just follow their template and do the job they're supposed to do for the people and not otherwise. Yeah. Case of Uganda and countries like that. It's hard to define if Uganda is a democratic country or a dictatorship country. It's hard to define that. And I think most of the time, in these countries, you find opposition party being really undermined and going through a lot of hardship. Why? It kind of feel like they've been muted, like their voices are not, are not heard. Okay, they are heard by the people, but they're not really allowed to speak and to be listened. And I don't know why it has to be like that, because most of the time I think like if I'm a leader, then what I will do is I'll just let people be free, because I'm confident of my leadership. I'm confident of my plan, my vision, and what I want to do for the country. Therefore, I don't have to mute anyone. I don't have to stop anyone from speaking. I don't have to control nothing. I think this is the big problem in Africa, because we want to control. And that's why even those people from opposition, sometimes they just want to take over the government and to run. You have soldiers, taking over the government, basically because they feel like, okay, these people, they're trying to be in control, but they lost control. Then we're going to step in and take control. It's all about taking control, take control. So in order for opposition party to be more effective in our countries, I think there has to be a change of constitution. The same thing happened to Kenya a couple years back, and today you have President William Ruto. He actually came from the opposition party and became a president. Very few cases like that can happen in our continent. In most of the countries, the parties that fought for independence are still leading the country up to date. Same thing with Tanzania, same thing with ANC, I believe, and same thing with other related countries like that. But when we reform constitution, when there's a reformation of constitution, I believe this new constitution will give power, fair power. There will be a distribution of power, not only to the reigning party, but also to opposition party. And I think a lot of time we have a different mindset when you talk about opposition. When you talk about opposition, all the time we think about opposing. As long as you're opposition, you're supposed to be opposing every single thing that has been done by the regime. But that's not the case. And I think that's one of the reasons why I don't have any political party. Because I'm not opposition. I'm not coming from opposition, or I'm not coming from the reigning party. Why? Because I just love my country, I just love continent, and I wish the best for the continent. I cannot be in opposition party because I feel like everything is being criticized. There are good things being done by the government, but we criticize everything, right? The bad things have been done by the government, but when you talk about reigning party, you applaud everything. Good thing, applaud. Bad thing, applaud. Here, good thing, criticize. Bad thing, criticize. I cannot do that. I cannot be hypocrite. If there's a good thing done in a country, I want to be able to applaud and say, hey, kudos, you've done a good job. If there's bad things done in the country, I want to be able to be like, no, this is not right. I think we should go this way. And that's why it's so hard. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people like me that are staying at the middle. They don't know where to go. And for the case of Tanzania, should I go to CCM? Should I go to Chadema? If I go to Chadema, I'll be criticizing everything. If I go to CCM, I'll be applauding everything. No, I should stay at the middle and applaud, give credits when it's due, and also criticize for the sake of building. And not really criticize for the sake of criticizing. No, criticizing while I'm giving the proper solution of how we can transform our continent and our countries for the betterment of our people. Let's take a look at DRC. If you talk to Congolese today, I think the first thing that they hate the most, more than anything, is politics. There's so much of resentment, hate towards politicians. We see that through rebels group. We see that through normal citizen. I have a lot of Congolese friends and I always talk to them. Nobody wants to do nothing with politics. And they hate it because it has never brought a change or transformation to them. And this is the reason why a lot of Africans, they hate politics as well, because it seems like it never brings solution to our problem. Politics is our daily life, but a lot of other people, they stay away from it, even without knowing that we're actually giving power to the politicians, because bad people, they are holding the highest offices in our countries, and good people, they're running away from the countries. They don't want to deal with nothing in our countries. Therefore, we have the same cycle goes on and on and on. Bad things keep on happening. Worse people keep on just, bleeding Africa inside out. And a lot of our people are disappointed. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to be involved with anything. So it is my big concern that our people, they don't really want to involve themselves with politics. And I don't know where Africa will be in a couple of years from now, because politics is our daily life and nobody wants to deal with that. And those who are in power, they don't really do nothing to bring about change and transformation. I mean, you can take a look at Burkina Faso again, what that guy is doing. Sometimes we even forget that this guy, they were like military who took over the government. We forget because of what they're doing. I think everybody now wants to be a soldier. When you look at the, powerful leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, you see the changes he's making. Everybody wants to be a soldier. If he was doing bad, nobody wants to be a soldier. They want to run away from it because nothing has been done right? And that's how it is. If you're a good example, people will love you, people will enjoy you, and people will want to be like you one day. And that's the change that can happen in the continent. But, when you look at the Sudan, I think it's the same thing as well, because it's a battle of two greedy people who wants to take over the regime, and they kept fighting with one another for the past 2 years, and a lot of people have died. Today I was checking the news, more than 103 people died in a single week. Every single week people are dying. There's a big problem of malnutrition. 7 people eat 1 plate of food. Share 1 plate of food, 7 people. So people are dying. 63 people died. Other 40 people died. In total, 103. How can you tell these people about politics? And their leaders are the cause of what has happened. So I think we are creating a generation that has so much hate and resentment, and they just want to, pay back of what is happening in our countries, and nobody wants to be involved with politics. And I think we are creating a generation of kind of like terroristic generation, because these people, they want to pay back. They say, one day if I get into regime, I'm going to pay you guys for what you've done to me. This is kind of generation we're creating. And mind you, a lot of people who are dying in Sudan are children and women. We have babies because of women. What happens when they die? No more babies. What happens when our babies die? No more future for Africa. So what kind of generation are we creating? What kind of countries are we creating? If politics is not benefiting our countries and our continent, then it's useless. Politics has to change lives. Politics has to impact lives positively. And if that is not happening, then what is politics? Then what is politics? It's just a way that people find out, mostly African leaders found out, to gain worth, to gather wealth for themselves, to prosper their families and their plans without caring about nobody and nothing. And here we are, Africa, still struggling after 60 years of independence. We have nothing. Can we blame politics? Absolutely not. But we can blame those people in charge who are abusing politics for their own gain. So politics can be abused, and politics can be used in the right way to bring about transformation. But in the case of Africa, very few people, they are using it in the right way. Most of our leaders are abusing politics for their own benefit and their own gain. When you just mentioned African Union, man, I can stay here for the whole day talking about African Union. What can African people do? It's like, did you see my video of today?
Yes, that's right. That's why I even asked this question.
Yeah.
We're talking about African Union.
That's a very important question, man. Of course, African Union is useless. They're doing nothing. The leader, I don't even know why they're choosing that. We're advocating for PLO Lumumba. Remember, all Africans wanted PLO Lumumba to become the next chairperson because they believe that perhaps he could have some solutions. And not perhaps. I mean, he has been talking about this for years. So somebody who has been talking about the ways or how to solve this and that, give him a chance to prove himself. You know what I'm saying? But they cut his name out. And he did not even, go to the top 3 and to run for that place, even though people wanted him. And they just pick and choose whoever they want place in there, and they do nothing once they become, chairman of the AU. So obviously, AU has failed. AU helped us to write the strategies and the motto of how we can bring about peace in the continent. They wrote it very well. When you read Agenda 2063, it is written very well, but they cannot do it. They don't have hands, they don't have feet to do it. But they have papers, they have website, you can go and read and see how well they wrote. But they don't have feet. They need hands and feet. And I believe in this, African Union needs people like me and you to be hands and feet of African Union, because they failed, they cannot do it. So what about us as a people? Take out all those strategies that African Union wrote, all those things, because they're really good. You're talking about one Africa. We're talking about one passport. We're advocating that here in Swahili Nation. One passport, one army, one currency, one phone code, one people, borderless Africa. Let's take it and put it into action. Let's take it, put it into a business and do it. Let's take it and implement it in our organizations. We should take that big picture of African Union and break it down to small parts and do it. So if our Swahili Nation, we took it, we are advocating every single day about one passport. One Africa, one passport. By the way, guys, sign up. The petition is down in the description. Sign up for one passport, one Africa right now. When you do that, maybe somebody else will take one army. When another one will take another one. We need all of us together to work together as one people to bring about change into this continent. And so I see it's kind of like you have a huge piece of cake. And each one of us, you can actually pick up a spoon or fork and chop a little bit and eat. That cake is for all of us, not only for African Union, but it's for all the people of Africa. So I am doing it. I'm not in African Union. I actually applied a couple of times to go there to be able to implement these ideas, but I was rejected. What can we do now? I'm still doing what I gotta do, because I don't need African Union to do what I want to do. You don't need African Union to do what you want to do. All of us in our own sphere, some of us who can do business, some of us who can bring awareness on social media, some of us who can employ, some of us who can do different things. And as we do that, we can actually build the Africa we want. So all of us, we have something to do. What Africa is doing right now, it is not bad. A lot of people, they misquote me when I talk about the increasing influence of Turkey in the continent, Russia, China. It is not bad, but also it is not good. And that's the tricky part. So when you go after that, you should know that this is not bad and it's not good. Why it is not bad? Because Africa, we need to have different kind of options. Before we had only United States. So whatever they do, we need to go back to beg them that please come back, we need you. But now we have China. So if you go away, we're going to partner with China. We don't care. We're going to partner with Russia. That's what is happening in the western side of Africa. Kick away United States, they kick away France, but now they're partnering with Russia. We have seen even Tanzania cut a deal of $1.5 billion with Russia. They did that. So it's good in a way because we have varieties. People who we can partner with. Do you guys believe in us? Do you guys treat us with respect? All right, we're going to go with you. No. We have a lot of options right now. We can pick and choose. Are we going for this or are we going for this? So it's good in that way. But why it's bad? It's bad because Africa, we're still doing the same mistake that we did a long time ago. We are still choosing others above ourselves. We still place other continents above each other. We still value non-Africans than Africa. And that's why you see the tension between Congo and Rwanda. You know, Africa cannot do anything. They're waiting for somebody else, Trump, to come and to be like, now we need to stop. And then we listen, now we're going to stop, we do it. But this thing is supposed to be Africa's solution to African problem with African money. But somebody else is doing it. Who? United States. We are putting others above ourselves. We don't care about each other. We don't love each other. We don't put each other first. We don't listen to each other. That's why it's bad. Because this is the reason why Africa failed over and over and over and over again. Africa is supposed to choose Africa first. Ubuntu. You are because I am. I am because you are. We need to choose first each other before anything else. We need to come together as one people and then collaborate with that. And that's why I have a problem with BRICS. BRICS, they have good agenda. It's another option for Africa above everything else, IMF and World Bank. It's good, but also it's not good. It's bad. Why? Because we are choosing others above ourselves. I think solution is Africa should focus on the internal affairs, come together as one people, one army, one passport, one currency. We should focus on those agenda first before externalize them. We need to internalize them. And then we as an African, we are going to join BRICS. Because in BRICS, you have China, they have more than 1 billion people. You have Brazil, you have all those different countries. But now Africa, let us go as one people, as African Union. Let us join BRICS. That will be a proper solution to bring about solution to all these issues we are going through. Africa is suffering from.
Do you think that's a good idea with even what is going on in Congo?
No, that is a bad move for Congo. How can you advertise your country for tourism while your country is not safe? Nobody wants to go to Congo. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to go to Congo because they're scared for their lives. Not because Congo is bad. Congo is a beautiful country. But Congo is not stable. So the timing is off. This is not the time to advertise Congo for tourism. Because people that are scared for their lives, they're not going to come if there's no stability in the country. That money could have been used for something else to stabilize the country. And then start advertising. Start doing marketing for Congo. Visit Congo everywhere. You don't have to pay Barcelona those amount of money to advertise Congo. And I don't know why people, they always love using these big budgets. I think because these people who are in charge of that, they actually get their cut as well. That's the reason. In this world today, you don't need to use Barcelona for people to come to visit. You just need to find the most famous YouTubers in the world. Go to iShowSpeed. All right. That is our fellow African brother in the United States. Go to them. Call them to come to their country. Give them everything they need. Give them access to visit there and there. Because in one stream, more than 1 million people are watching here live like this. That would be the easiest way to attract tourists to come to our nation. Invite him. Invite in your country. Tanzania, Congo, whatever. Invite them, come, show them every different places. Let them do content. Share them online. A lot of people, they will share, they will reshare. It will go viral. People will come and visit your country. But for Congo specifically, I think this is such a bad timing because right now, nobody wants to come to Congo because of instability. We need to focus on developing the stability in our countries first before inviting other people to come to your country. Otherwise, you're going to spend a whole lot of money and you have zero impact. It'd be wastage of money. You cannot do that if the country is not stable. Do you know why Tanzania led in tourism this year in everywhere? Do you know why Tanzania received a lot of awards, more than 10 different awards? Because of stability, of the peace of the country. Therefore, it's easy to attract tourists to come and to visit the country because they know I'll go there and I'll live safe. But nobody can come here if it is not safe, because they'll be scared of their lives. So that was not a good move. That is, Magufuli once said that the big problem of Africa is that we are overspending, misuse of resources, and mismanagement of the resources. And I think that was misuse and mismanagement, because that is a lot of money. But you misused it. It's not the right time to use it for Barcelona. No, it's not the right time. So there will be only one way out there. It's not going to be successful. I can guarantee you that. Not because I'm a prophet, no. Unless if stability come to Congo right now, then it will be useful. Absolutely. I agree with President Kagame 100%. United States, they are not interested in the peace of Congo or Rwanda. They've never been interested. But they've been interested in minerals. They've been interested in getting their own fare. You've seen what happened when President Trump met with President Zelensky. They want minerals. It's about economics. It's about money. They don't care about the peace of our continent. And that's why I'm really surprised that, okay, you know that. Why do you still go there? Why do you still go there? You know that they're not interested with your peace. No, they're not interested with your people. No, they're interested with their own agenda, and they want to benefit from blood, sweat, and tears of Africans. Because wars happen in our world because it's a $1 billion industry.
This is the journey to one Africa.